God says, "My child, sometimes the deepest clarity does not come from loud answers or dramatic events, but from quiet understanding that settles gently into your heart." And today I want you to slow down for a moment, because something connected to someone you love is becoming clearer in your life, not to confuse you, not to hurt you, but to help you see with greater wisdom and emotional maturity. You may have been carrying questions about this person, wondering about their intentions, their feelings, their distance, or even their silence, and those questions have lived quietly inside you, sometimes creating overthinking, sometimes creating doubt, sometimes creating hope. But today is not about assumption, it is about awareness. God says, "My child, when love is involved, emotions become powerful, and powerful emotions can either cloud your judgment or deepen your understanding depending on how you handle them. That is why you are being asked to listen with an open heart rather than a guarded one." An open heart does not mean blind trust, it means balanced perception. It means seeing not only through fear or expectation but through clarity and calm reflection. The person you love may not always express themselves the way you expect. They may struggle with communication. They may carry their own fears, their own responsibilities, their own internal battles that you cannot fully see. Before you react, before you assume, pause and observe with maturity. God says, "My child, clarity often comes when you stop trying to control the outcome and instead focus on understanding the situation honestly." Ask yourself what you truly feel about this person without pride, without insecurity, without outside influence. Are your concerns based on real patterns, or are they based on fear of losing something meaningful? Are you reacting to present reality, or to past experiences that left emotional marks on you? When you separate past wounds from present truth, clarity begins to form naturally. There may also be something unspoken between you and this person. A conversation delayed. A feeling not fully expressed. A misunderstanding that was never calmly addressed. Instead of letting silence grow heavier, consider whether gentle communication could bring relief. Honest words spoken respectfully can heal confusion. Listening patiently can reveal intentions that assumptions hide. Emotional maturity transforms relationships. God says, "My child, love is not proven through constant intensity, it is proven through consistency, respect, and effort." Look at the patterns rather than the moments. One bad day does not define a person, but repeated behavior reveals character. If someone consistently shows care, even in small ways, acknowledge it. If someone repeatedly dismisses your feelings, notice that too. Clarity does not come from fantasy, it comes from observation. You may also need clarity about your own boundaries. Loving someone does not mean ignoring your values. Loving someone does not mean sacrificing your peace. True connection allows both hearts to feel respected. If something feels misaligned, reflect calmly rather than reacting emotionally. Growth in love comes when both people are willing to improve, communicate, and support each other's development. God says, "My child, sometimes clarity arrives not by changing the other person, but by strengthening yourself. When you become emotionally stable, patient, and secure within your own worth, you stop chasing reassurance and start recognizing genuine connection. Confidence in yourself changes the dynamic of every relationship. Instead of fearing loss, you value alignment. Instead of forcing closeness, you allow natural growth. Take a moment right now and breathe slowly. Think about the person on your heart. Remove anger. Remove anxiety. Remove overthinking. Look at the situation calmly. What feels true? What feels exaggerated? What feels real and consistent? Truth feels steady. Fear feels rushed. Clarity feels calm. Trust what feels calm. God says, "My child, whatever clarity is unfolding is meant to strengthen you, not weaken you." Whether it leads to deeper understanding, improved communication, or personal growth, it is guiding you toward emotional maturity. You deserve love that is respectful, stable, and aligned with your values. And you are also called to offer that same stability in return. God says, "My child, as you continue reflecting on the person you love, understand that clarity in matters of the heart is rarely about discovering something shocking. It is about seeing something honestly that you may have avoided because your emotions were louder than your wisdom. And today you are being guided not to fear what you discover but to embrace it calmly because truth handled with maturity strengthens you rather than hurts you." When feelings are involved, it is easy to magnify small actions, to interpret silence as rejection, or to interpret distance as loss, but clarity asks you to pause and separate emotion from evidence, to look at the full picture instead of isolated moments, and to recognize patterns instead of reacting to temporary situations. God says, "My child, love is powerful because it makes you vulnerable, and vulnerability can feel uncomfortable when uncertainty appears, yet vulnerability is not weakness, it is openness, and openness is what allows real understanding to grow." You may have been questioning where you stand with this person, wondering whether their feelings match yours, whether their intentions are serious, or whether their silence means something deeper, but before drawing conclusions, look at consistency. Has this person shown up for you in meaningful ways over time? Have they respected your emotions when you expressed them? Have they made effort when it mattered? Consistency reveals far more than dramatic gestures. There may also be misunderstandings that grew quietly because neither of you fully expressed what you truly felt. Sometimes pride prevents communication. Sometimes fear prevents honesty. Sometimes both people wait for the other to speak first. But clarity often arrives when someone chooses courage over silence. Consider whether an open conversation could dissolve confusion that overthinking has magnified. Calm communication creates space for truth. When you speak without accusation and listen without defensiveness, you create understanding instead of distance. God says, "My child, examine your expectations gently." Are you expecting this person to read your mind? Are you expecting them to respond exactly as you would respond? Remember that every individual expresses care differently. Some show love through words. Some show love through actions. Some show love through responsibility and support rather than constant reassurance. Instead of measuring love only by your preferred style, try to understand theirs. Clarity grows when empathy increases. At the same time, do not ignore your intuition. If something consistently feels misaligned, do not silence that feeling. Intuition is not insecurity, it is awareness. But intuition must be grounded in observation, not fear. Ask yourself whether your concern is supported by repeated behavior or fueled by past experiences that created sensitivity. When you heal past wounds, present situations feel clearer. Do not allow old hurt to define new connections. God says, "My child, you are also being guided to examine your own role in this relationship. Growth is mutual. Are you communicating clearly, or are you expecting understanding without explanation? Are you offering patience, or are you reacting quickly? Are you expressing appreciation when effort is shown?" Relationships strengthen when both people grow simultaneously. Blame weakens connection, accountability strengthens it. You may also need clarity about timing. Not every connection develops at the same speed. Some bonds require patience. Some require space. Some require deeper self-development before they reach stability. If something feels delayed, it does not automatically mean it is ending. Sometimes growth is happening individually before it can happen together. Trust that what is aligned will not disappear because of temporary distance. God says, "My child, love should not feel like constant anxiety. It should feel steady, even if it is not perfect. It should bring more peace than confusion. It should encourage your growth rather than shrink your confidence." If clarity reveals that something feels consistently unstable, do not fear that realization. Clarity is protection. If clarity reveals that something is strong but simply misunderstood, embrace the opportunity to strengthen it. Take a deep breath and imagine removing fear from your perspective. If fear was not influencing your thoughts, what would you honestly believe about this person? If insecurity was silent, what would feel true? Truth feels calm. Fear feels urgent. When you learn to identify the difference, emotional wisdom develops naturally. God says, "My child, this message is not about forcing an outcome, it is about strengthening your perception. Whether clarity leads to deeper commitment, improved communication, or personal boundaries, it will ultimately bring you peace. You deserve a connection built on respect, honesty, and mutual effort. You also deserve the confidence to walk away from what does not align with your values. Both strength and tenderness can exist within you at the same time. As you move forward, choose patience over panic, communication over assumption, and maturity over impulsive reaction. Love guided by wisdom becomes stable. Love guided by fear becomes chaotic. You are capable of stable love. God says, "My child, as this clarity continues to unfold within you, understand that love is not meant to be a source of constant confusion but a space where truth and growth meet, and sometimes the reason you are being asked to listen with an open heart is because your mind has been louder than your spirit, analyzing every detail, replaying conversations, searching for hidden meanings, while the deeper truth has been quietly waiting for you to slow down and feel rather than overthink." When emotions are strong, it is easy to create scenarios that feel real but are built on assumptions, and that is why awareness is being strengthened in you right now so that you can separate imagination from reality and perception from fact. God says, "My child, the person you love is human, just as you are human, and human beings carry fears, pressures, responsibilities, and past experiences that shape how they express themselves, and sometimes what feels like distance is not a lack of care but a struggle within them that you may not fully see. Before interpreting silence as rejection, ask whether patience might reveal a deeper explanation. Before interpreting busyness as indifference, observe whether effort appears in other ways. Clarity grows when you consider the full context rather than isolated moments. There may also be a lesson unfolding within you about emotional independence. Loving someone deeply should not erase your sense of stability. If your peace disappears whenever uncertainty appears, that is a sign that your confidence may need strengthening alongside your affection. Healthy love allows both people to feel secure individually and connected together. You are being guided to build that security within yourself so that your love comes from strength rather than fear. When you feel secure, you no longer chase reassurance constantly. Instead, you recognize genuine effort calmly. God says, "My child, sometimes clarity reveals that a conversation must happen honestly and without ego." Pride can silently damage what vulnerability could repair. If there is something on your heart that needs expression, consider sharing it with calmness rather than accusation. Speak about how you feel instead of what you assume. Listen to understand instead of preparing your response. These small shifts in communication create powerful transformation. Many misunderstandings survive simply because neither side chose to speak with openness. At the same time, clarity may also reveal patterns that you can no longer ignore. Repeated inconsistency, repeated dismissal of your emotions, or repeated avoidance of responsibility are not small details. Patterns are truth repeated over time. When you recognize patterns clearly, you can decide wisely. Do not allow temporary affection to blind you to consistent behavior. Love is not only what someone says. It is what someone does repeatedly. God says, "My child, ask yourself an important question. Does this connection help you grow into a stronger version of yourself, or does it create constant emotional instability?" Growth-oriented love challenges you respectfully, supports your goals, and celebrates your progress. Unstable love creates confusion, insecurity, and exhaustion. You deserve stability. You deserve clarity. You deserve mutual effort. And you are also called to offer those same qualities in return. Another layer of clarity unfolding within you is understanding timing. Not every person enters your life to stay forever, but every person enters to teach something valuable. If this connection is meant to grow deeper, it will withstand honest communication and mutual effort. If it is meant to teach you self-worth, boundaries, or emotional maturity, clarity will reveal that as well. Either outcome strengthens you. Nothing is wasted when you learn from it. God says, "My child, remove fear from your decision-making." Fear rushes. Fear assumes. Fear clings. Wisdom observes. Wisdom reflects. Wisdom chooses calmly. When you choose from wisdom rather than fear, you protect your peace. You stop trying to force certainty and instead allow truth to reveal itself naturally. Truth does not need pressure. It becomes clear through consistency. Take a moment now and imagine your heart steady and calm. Picture yourself confident regardless of the outcome. Feel that stability. That stability is your power. When you operate from that place, you no longer beg for clarity, you recognize it. You no longer demand reassurance. You observe effort. You no longer ignore red flags, you acknowledge them respectfully. Emotional maturity transforms love from chaos into clarity. God says, "My child, whatever is being revealed is meant to free you from confusion." If the connection is strong, clarity will strengthen it. If it is weak, clarity will protect you. Either way, you win because you grow. Love guided by awareness becomes purposeful. Love guided by fear becomes draining. You are being guided toward purposeful love. As you move forward, commit to 3 things: honest communication, patient observation, and strong self-respect. These 3 principles will protect your heart without closing it. They will allow you to love deeply without losing yourself. They will help you recognize what is aligned with your future and what is not. God says, "My child, as this clarity settles deeper into your heart, understand that love was never meant to leave you feeling lost within yourself. It was meant to help you discover strength you did not know you had, and the reason you are being asked to listen carefully now is because something subtle but important is shifting in the way you see this person and in the way you see yourself within this connection." You may have spent days or even weeks analyzing their behavior, replaying conversations in your mind, wondering whether certain words carried hidden meaning, and questioning whether silence meant distance or simply reflection. But clarity does not come from endless mental replay, it comes from honest observation combined with emotional balance. And emotional balance is what you are being guided to build right now so that your heart can remain open without becoming overwhelmed. God says, "My child, sometimes when you love deeply, you unintentionally attach your peace to another person's response, waiting for their message to feel secure, waiting for their reassurance to feel stable, waiting for their attention to feel valued. But true stability begins when your sense of worth no longer depends on external validation. Loving someone should enhance your peace, not determine it. If your mood rises and falls entirely based on their behavior, that is a sign that you must strengthen your inner foundation. When your foundation is strong, you can love fully without losing yourself. When your foundation is weak, even small uncertainties feel overwhelming. This moment of clarity is teaching you to build from within. There may also be truth unfolding about compatibility rather than just emotion. Feelings alone are not enough to sustain a healthy connection. Shared values, mutual respect, emotional maturity, and aligned life direction are equally important. Ask yourself honestly whether your long-term visions align. Do you both approach responsibility with seriousness? Do you both value communication? Do you both respect boundaries? When alignment exists, love grows steadily. When alignment is absent, tension increases over time. Clarity reveals alignment or misalignment gently but unmistakably. God says, "My child, do not confuse intensity with stability." Intensity can feel powerful, dramatic, and exciting, but stability feels calm, consistent, and secure. A stable connection may not always feel dramatic, but it brings peace. A dramatic connection may feel intense, but it often brings confusion. Learn to value peace over chaos. Learn to recognize that quiet consistency is stronger than loud promises. Promises require action to mean anything. Action repeated consistently builds trust. You are also being guided to observe how this person responds during difficulty. Anyone can show affection when circumstances are easy. True character reveals itself during pressure, disagreement, or stress. When conflict arises, do they communicate respectfully or withdraw completely? Do they take responsibility for mistakes or deflect blame? Do they attempt resolution or escalate tension? These behaviors reveal emotional readiness. Clarity grows when you observe these moments carefully instead of excusing them automatically. God says, "My child, remember that love is not about control." You cannot control another person's pace, emotions, or decisions. You can only control your response. When you release the need to control outcomes, you regain your power. You stop chasing certainty and start building confidence. You stop forcing answers and start allowing truth to reveal itself through time and consistency. Time is one of the most honest tests of connection. What is real remains steady. What is temporary fades naturally. Another layer of clarity may involve forgiveness, either forgiving them or forgiving yourself. Perhaps there were misunderstandings handled poorly. Perhaps expectations were not communicated clearly. Perhaps both of you acted from emotion rather than calm understanding. Growth allows you to acknowledge mistakes without shame and improve moving forward. Forgiveness does not mean ignoring patterns, it means releasing resentment while maintaining wisdom. You can forgive and still require change. You can understand and still uphold standards. God says, "My child, do not ignore how you feel when you are around this person." Do you feel respected? Do you feel heard? Do you feel supported? Or do you feel anxious, uncertain, and undervalued? Your emotional response provides information. Healthy love strengthens your confidence. Unhealthy attachment weakens it. Listen to how your body and mind react after interactions. Peace is a powerful indicator of alignment. As clarity deepens, you may realize that the most important lesson is not about them but about you. You are learning to love without losing yourself. You are learning to communicate without fear. You are learning to observe without overreacting. You are learning to set boundaries without guilt. These lessons strengthen every relationship you will ever have. Growth in love begins with growth within. God says, "My child, whatever conclusion clarity leads you toward, trust that it is guiding you to stability and emotional maturity." If this connection is meant to grow, your strengthened wisdom will make it healthier. If it is meant to change or end, your strengthened wisdom will protect your peace. Either way, you are becoming more secure, more discerning, and more emotionally intelligent. Take a quiet moment and imagine yourself months from now feeling calm, confident, and proud of how you handled this situation. That future version of you is built by the decisions you make today. Choose calm reflection over impulsive reaction. Choose honest communication over silent assumption. Choose self-respect over fear of loss. When you choose these consistently, clarity becomes your strength rather than your fear. If this message resonates deeply with you, comment, "I choose love with wisdom and self-respect," below. Like this video if you are ready to grow emotionally stronger, and subscribe if you are committed to building relationships with clarity, maturity, and an open heart.